Hello. Um, if you are watching this, my name is Tiny. I am not really a VTuber, but at the same time, I kind of am a VTuber. Um, this is just me choosing to journal in a different method. I am not much of a writer, nor am I much of a meditator, so I find that potentially doing this may help me catalog my thoughts a little bit easier. Um, it is October 21st, 2024 at 8:13 p.m. as there's a little clock up in the corner, but yeah. For I guess my first journal entry or kind of video entry, I kind of wanted to talk about like why I guess I find that I am going to do this in this method. Um I've never been one to really follow the general structure of things, I guess. And thus I kind of enjoy being outside of the norm. So I don't know if that comes from, my childhood and how the adults in my life were terrible authoritative figures, or if that's just how I kind of see them as terrible authoritative figures. Uh, but it kind of makes me feel like I don't really do well with authority, or in a sense, kind of people pushing their opinion to kind of be authoritative. Because I find that I have no issue with, you know, officers or people in a higher position of power, in a sense, but at the same time, I do find it difficult to kind of follow someone else's rules in a way rather than being able to do what I would like to do. So I don't know where this stems from per se, but it's something that I find a little bit difficult. I kind of struggled, I think, in life with a lot growing up, being kind of the eldest child figure in my life, and how it kind of isn't easy when excuse me, I am so not prepped for this. But it kind of isn't easy when you're the first child of the household. Not that my parents made me really step into the position of protector and role model for my siblings, but I did have to kind of be a role model to a lot of my cousins. And as the eldest child, I think that was a bit of a struggle because there wasn't much I think trust, or there was an expectation that they had that we or I was expected to follow. Me and my sibling are both female, so my sister and I, whereas I have two male cousins who live locally, and the rest of them are all females for the most part. I may start crying here and there, but I kind of hated it. Thinking back and even looking at it now, I kind of hated it. Oh man, I'm actually crying. Sorry. I hated it so much because I don't know if it was older mindset or maybe expectations, but I felt like my sister and I were never treated fairly in a way that should have been, maybe as children. Nothing against really my cousins nowadays, but I think I held a lot of resentment growing up because we always heard the factor of, your cousin is a premature child, and his mother is the eldest of the household. A lot of cultural background that follows that. Sorry, because I think even now we're supposed to really call them, they're younger than me, by the way, by like older brother. They're younger than me by like a year, and I think it's weird to call them older brother even though they are younger. And so, you know, I don't have resentment towards that, but I think my resentment lies in kind of the way we were treated growing up because, he was quote unquote a premature child. A lot of the things that he did, we got in trouble for. And we kind of just had to watch out for each other because, all of our parents worked. We kind of all stuck together. But I think it hurt knowing that even though, everyone was trying their best, it was hard because it kind of felt like we didn't stand on the same field as the others. It just felt in a way unfair, I guess. And to kind of give a small insight is what I remember is one time I was just hanging around upstairs in the house that we, typically go to, my grandma's house. And this one time, I got asked if I stole money. Now, while I like to explore and stuff, I would never take money that did not belong to me. Um, while my mom did say she defended me after the fact, in the time that I was there, it was like, how were we? And I get it too, as the adults have to check anyways. But neither I or my sister stole it. I may be skewing this, but I always remember it as my cousin taking it. And we kind of got into a lot of trouble for it. And I didn't even, take anything. I didn't touch anything. I do remember my sister telling me this is that one time they were having, her and my cousin were having a meal, and my cousin had everything laid out for them, whereas my sister had to, grab her own utensils and stuff. And it kind of felt like, I guess, unfair for us. And again, I do understand where the adults may be coming from, but at the same time, it felt like, kind of growing up, there was a lot of favoritism towards my cousin. But, growing up now, I don't talk to them much, my cousins actually. While we are on neutral terms, I find that they are difficult to sometimes talk to, mostly because our opinions don't quite align, and trying to talk to them is not really easy to have a conversation. And I think I have kind of, pushed away family quite a bit because I don't really like, or maybe I haven't come to, accept and kind of forgive my elders. But it is what it is. But growing up, it got to the point where life felt suffocating that I moved to another state to finish up my teenage years, and then I eventually moved back for work. So where I live now is where I grew up, but I didn't live here entirely, but sometimes life brings you in different manners and different paths, and I think it's interesting in a way. If you haven't noticed by now, I'm mostly just talking to myself, kind of just letting my thoughts run, kind of flow. So a lot of these logs or these journal entries will not have a direct path of travel. I felt like instead of writing something down, I would record it, because I think there's a charm to recording something when writing doesn't work, because I find that I like talking to someone or to myself more than I like writing out my thoughts. I find that my thoughts are difficult to put on paper, especially when I start journaling. I try to have a generic subject I write about, so it's a bit hard, Meditation doesn't work for me either, because I don't really see myself in a mental aspect. So I'm not much of a visualizer. I believe I have aphantasia. So meditating is hard, even though the point of meditation is to kind of just reach a state or be in a state where you can let a lot of things go or receive the information. And it's not easy for me, I'll be honest. It's really not. So I chose making YouTube videos. Now, if you've gotten this far, you may noticed or that a lot of my older videos are unboxing, thus my face is in it. This is nothing new. I will probably more than likely switch back and forth between my model and my web camera that I actually am currently using to have my model move. But I figured maybe for this first entry I would use my model because I didn't want to like have my face showing and like be potentially crying, because I think if I continue to do this there will be potentially a couple entries here and there as I kind of dig deep into myself, where I may just full blown just lots of tears. But again, the reason I'm doing this is to try and find out a lot of the reasons for why I hold myself back. I want to try and better myself in a mental or aspect or kind of spiritual aspect. Thus I chose to do this instead. I got a reading done by an acquaintance, and they said that I kind of float around a lot, which I do in terms of hobbies and thoughts and subjects and things. But the one thing that stood out to me is I am my own barrier. Basically, I put these walls up to protect myself, and I need to figure out why or what's the cause of the letting go. Hold on, let me reword that. I need to figure out what's the cause of these self-limiting beliefs, why I have put these barriers up to kind of protect myself, because I know that when you limit yourself, there's some, in my opinion at least, when you limit yourself or you hold yourself back, there's something that caused that, and your choice was to protect, for your own protection, to protect yourself. And thus I kind of want to get down to the dirty with that aspect. But yeah, I think I might kind of call it quits today. I think I'm starting to kind of get onto a tangent of rambling and going in a circle. But if you guys are watching this, thank you for watching this, I guess. I don't really know why you're here, but I hope you guys are having, a good day. Don't hold back for yourself. And don't believe that the negatives are there because that's life. I think you can turn it into a positive aspect and a positive situation. I think it'll be okay, and yeah. If you guys are actually curious about why or how my life kind of goes the way it goes, then yes, we'll be back here together. this may not be a daily thing or a weekly thing. I think this might just be when I feel like talking about it. So, yeah. But, bye.